everyone, it's Catherine, and today I am going to show you how to use the digital clip art to create a cute little underwater scene where things are kind of layered and um, it's just going to look really pretty. I created something very similar to this already, and I did this. If you follow me on Instagram, my username there is the same as it is here. I printed this directly onto my Annie Plans printable cover. And I had people ask me in different places if I could please do a tutorial on that. Now, I would love to do a tutorial on exactly what I made. However, you will require an upgraded version of this Silhouette software to make that happen. And just for the sake of ease for everyone, I am going to show you what you can do with the free version, which means you don't have to have the fancier software to open a PDF. And we're going to make something that you can print and cut out and use as a sticker. So this is going to be a 4-inch circle. So this is a circle, you can see it's 4 inches in diameter, and that is ever so slightly, it is, what is it, 0.004 inches bigger than the frame on the Annie Plans B6 insert. I just decided to bump up the size to a 4-inch diameter circle, so if you're not perfect laying it down, it's not the end of the world. I just think it's going to work a little better, and quite frankly, it's easier to remember. So 4 inches, that's the size you want if you're using the B6 inserts that come with your MommyLhey kits. Okay? Now I've taken the time to get all of the digital die cuts together that I want to use. I didn't pick every single one from the kit. As you can see, there were, a couple left behind. And this is, I like to say it's like baking. Just get all your ingredients out together so you know you have everything. And yeah, so I have my circle ready to go. I have already kind of prepped it. This is the digital paper from this kit. So this is, if you bought the kit, it comes with this digital paper. If you bought the digital edition, I believe there are different papers in there. So I can't quite remember at this second, but please rest assured that all of the digital die cuts and that sort, those are going to be the same. You will get those same die cuts. As of this very moment, this is not on the website. I don't know if it's coming back. Hopefully it will. There's supposed to be a strictly digital edition of the kit that is coming, so if you like this artwork, it should be available, and if it becomes available again, you can be sure I will link it down below so that you have the opportunity to buy it, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by duplicating this, all right, because this is kind of key to creating that hazy sort of effect that I had in the sticker that I made, okay? And I have moved this to the center of the page. I always recommend that you do that. It just makes life easier. Now I have duplicated all of the clip art that I'm going to want to use, simply because it really does. It makes life easier when you can see everything, and if you use those pieces and then they end up kind of buried, you can just come over here and duplicate that same design. Say you want to use a character or something again, you have another one to pull from, okay? Because it is always so infuriating when you have to go back to your library or try to unbury it to then duplicate that image, okay? So we're just going to start building. There's nothing fancy that really goes into it. You just start laying down the artwork. And I know I'm going to want to use a lot of these, so yeah, I'm going to start duplicating those right off the bat. And another fun thing you can do is if you have the digital stamps, then what you can do is say you want shells and things like that, or maybe the narwhals, anyone, in a different colorway, you have that option because you can just fill in the colors. And I show in a different video here on my channel, bring to the front, yeah, I show how to fill in those digital stamps, you know, take them apart, that sort of thing. So look for that video. I'll try to link it down below. Okay. Now I do like to take some things like, okay, I would make her really tiny and I would probably put her in the back so that it seems like she's further away. Okay. It's that sort of forced perception. She's further away. So I'm actually going to take these out now that I kind of have a slightly more clear idea of what I'm going to do. Okay. And this, truly, this is my process. This is how I do this. I'm going to come in here and just pick up a color from here, and I have increased the transparency of this so it's not even as bold because I may wish to layer it again. So click on it, move it to center. Do you see how this is already kind of taking shape? So I'm going to increase the transparency to about 74%, and you might think that that's made no difference whatsoever, but it will in the end, okay, because she is going to end up kind of buried. Okay, and I think it'll be fun if we have Blossom. Oh, now remember, because this is something I've mentioned in previous videos, every time you add something, that becomes like, it goes to the front. So click all of your guys, and this is why it's helpful, I try to keep them together. Bring to the front. Now she sits on top of that layer that we just created. Okay? So I think she's good there. And she's good there. Duplicate. And I don't know. Do we want to make that a slightly different color? Yes. That's fun. Okay. Or that's a little more green. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Transparency is 44% at present, but I am going to bring it up to about 79, and you see that she's becoming just that little bit more washed out as we go. Now I think oops, see, I don't see, even I do this and I know better, and I just said it, didn't I? Bring to the front. So important. And now it sits on top. Okay, so I think she's probably going to be pretty close to us here, and I think this one is too. So these are going to be our friends in the front. Okay, and let's start adding some of this seaweed. And we're going to do the same thing again. I really like that pale, pale, pale color. Very nice. I'll make that about 67%. Okay. Highlight all. Bring to the front. Okay. And we have our little crab friends here. Seahorse. I think those need to be smaller. And I'm just going to lay this one on top, okay? So it looks like some of them are kind of buried behind the seaweed. I'm going to increase the transparency again. And then, do we need anybody else? I don't know. Oops, well, I duplicated and that's fine because that'll still move them to the front. She can go right here. Cute little starfish. And I don't know, I think that's pretty good. So that's how you kind of create those layered effects. And so some of them are further away and some of them are closer to the front. And what's really nice is what you can do too is, okay, send this to the back and you can create another pattern entirely. Let's see, that one could be fun. See another one from the kit. I know that there were some like scales, and then there's some from like past kits and that sort of thing. Oh, you can't even see it anymore, huh? Because we layered so much. Although, let's see. No, you can't. That's crazy. Oh, well, you kind of can because you can kind of, yeah, I just didn't realize. It's not super, super obvious, but actually I think that one would be fun. Creates an even more hazy effect. This one is from a very different kit though, will it say? No, just digital paper copy too. For some reason that one isn't properly labeled, but that was from a different kit. But this is just a great way to incorporate different digital papers, and I think that looks pretty good. What I would do now is just kind of delete everything, clear my workspace, and then highlight all, group. Now this is all one solid piece, can move it around. It's so many layers, but now it is all just one solid piece. And now if you go to send, okay, you can put on just the cut and it'll cut the very edge because it's now one solid piece. Or you can go to your offset window, and if you recall, that's the one with the little star. Click on the design, hit offset, and now you'll see these here lines, these extra lines. Do not worry about that because watch, click anywhere, they are gone now. Just the software knows that those were separate pieces, and it's like, wait a minute, am I supposed to add it to everything? And as soon as you click off, it's like, oh no, it's one piece. Okay, so, and you can click, if you wish to change, and they're not welded together yet, okay? You can adjust it so that your float line is smaller. I prefer 0.30. There we go. It's a very small float line. And then you can kind of move it up and down if you need to. If you know your machine, mine has a tendency to, it'll cut too much off of the bottom, not enough off of the top. You can do that. Just move it slightly, but don't forget that you need to go. So I'm going to click on this one. I didn't turn it back off. You do need to make sure that these cut lines are turned on, because it's not always a given. They will not necessarily always be turned on. So double check that you have turned those on, because it's such a pain in the neck to send it through the machine and have it do nothing. I think most of us have been there. And another nice thing is, now you can kind of see I went outside the circle here, so it's going to follow that. There's that slight little divot there. If you're fine with it, because again my float line is just kind of so slight, and you know, this is something that we made bigger than the actual circle that goes on your printable. And this is just like a good overall tip. You can totally, you know, have these things come outside the circle and then just have a 4-inch cut line, 4-inch diameter circle cut line. And you know, you can just lay that down and have that cut so that it'll take off all that excess. And you don't need the Silhouette machine to do this. You could cut this by hand, depending on, you know, how big of a circle punch you may have. If you're using a smaller insert, you may actually be able to just get away with using a handheld paper punch too. So yeah, this is just how I do this with the layering of the different effects, and I think it creates a really nice look. It's a fun way to use your digital papers, and just kind of an interesting way to use the clip art. As always, questions, comments, please leave them down below. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to see more. All right? See you next time, guys. Bye!